This has been the story. Kaboom has not been pushed off the turrets until they grab it. And the Nexus turret almost about to go down. Alliance has too much on their plate to consider. That's the fight. The control onto left. They are able to take him down. Danagorn. Oh my God! Alliance down.
And we're live. What's up, tankers? Welcome, dude. How's it going?
Good. Really excited to be here as we get into the first game of the Mercedes-Benz 80K League of Legends Champion Series that is powered by Elgato and MSI.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good tournament. 100%. Like, I'm actually excited. This is one for record books. Excited. I don't think we've had a tournament in League of Legends in SA this big before.
Honestly, I feel like this prize pool is just really great for the league scene and super keen and excited to see the teams that are here. All of them are really big caliber teams and yeah, super excited to see, especially B5 who we'll be seeing in today's game.
100%. I mean, it's B5 vs DSG to start us off with the first official cast of the tournament, and there's going to be a lot of them in the future for sure. How are you feeling about the series?
Yeah.
I mean, do you have any predictions going into it? What are your thoughts? Best of 3?
I really like to see a best of 3, more games for us to cast and talk about. That'd be really exciting. But definitely feel like B5 is going to be the favorites here, and I think you know the history a little bit more, so you could probably talk a little bit more to the rest of the guys about who they are, where they're coming from, just to get them filled in.
So if anyone that doesn't already know, B5 is the old Royalty roster to an extent. I believe they joined B5 somewhat recently, so they've got a bit of history behind them. Royalty being one of the stronger teams in the SA scene. I think they finished third last VS Finals, if I'm not mistaken, so they're definitely a top 3 team for sure. As for DSG, a bit of a different roster, a team that has been around for a while. We definitely know UV going to be in chat here to support the boys. On paper, I think I'm favoring the B5 roster a little bit more though.
100%. But I'm keen to see how the drafts are going to work out, and maybe we can kind of figure out who's got the edge there as we get into Champion Select in just a bit. I'm sure we're ready in lobby, just waiting for the guys to ready check there.
Yep, players filling in. I mean, it's like peak League of Legends time. It's Sunday, it's 8 o'clock. This is like the go-to time slot, and I think we have like 5 or 6 games going on at the moment. Kind of
so
crazy.
Many games. Yeah, it's just this is the esports time, especially for League. I don't know about the other leagues that are going on, but like for League of Legends, this is the time to be playing. This is when everyone's competing and everyone's awake, up and ready, playing. Yeah, to win the tournaments, leagues that they are performing in.
100%. So we do see players and teams starting to fill up, so we should get the game started shortly. Best of 3 series. Do you have any predictions? What are you thinking? 2-0, clean and easy? Is it going to be a tough, like, close series? Anything with
I want to give it a 2-for-1. I'd really like to have the best of 3.
And who's favorite?
2-for-1 going over to B5. But I just want to see DSG kind of pulling off, just stealing game, 100 Thieves style. Just make it happen.
I mean, Royalties are known for their reverse sweeps. They like to sort of fall behind the early stages and come together and bring it back, basically. So I feel like B5 definitely going to be the 2 for the series, but whether they get that or whether DSG gets that first potential game, we'll have to see. A lot of new additions to the roster as well.
As we do have the ready checks going out, we should be heading into Champ Select in just a second and show you guys the first ban.
Right, so we have loaded it in. Taking a look at the pick of the bans. It looks like the first ban...
It's going to be Viego.
Which apparently is not showing up, but we'll see what happens with that.
There, we do have Seraphine showing up, so...
Interesting.
Probably Viego being a new champ that we might not have on the tour.
That's what it is, yeah. We were discussing
that might be the one we missed.
We're discussing what the new champion was that came out recently because of the fact that the practice tool and the new patch, you know, Viego showing up or not showing up in this case on the ban. So keep in mind that Big Five has opted for the Viego and Senna ban, as a result answering with the Udyr and Seraphine.
Yeah, so that's just a mistake on our side that we will have rectified. Yeah, so a lot of ADC bans on this side of B5. Meanwhile, the Seraphine, really strong pick. Udyr, also a very strong pick. No surprises from these bans. They all seem really good. Lucian, known for being a very great flex pick, and Senna's just been dominating in the bot lane while fasting.
Yeah, I'm really liking the Seraphine and the Udyr ban. Udyr, stupidly strong right now, one of the go-to OP, you just cannot afford to let it through. Seraphine, on the other hand, can be flexed to both mid and support. I know Miggy's been spamming Seraphine and Solitude lately, so very, very good target ban on that part. As for mid lane, not too sure whether they do run it, but we have the Hecarim and the Ivan lock-in for the jungles.
Wow, interesting. Like very different things that these two champions want to go do. The Pony wants to go all in as much as and hard as he can, whereas Ivan just wants to pull back and peel. And we can kind of see the theme coming around for DSG already with this. Looks like a protect the ADC comp with two supports already locked in the first rotation. While on the Hecarim side, we just know currently one person wants to go, and we're waiting to see what else gets picked there.
So Tristana, the hover currently not, well, actually no, locked in. Support, Sona, Yuumi, Flick, a bit of a interesting one. I don't know. I don't think they're going to lock in the Yuumi. That's going to be our prediction. I think that's going to switch to something else. I just don't see them getting the value out of that Yuumi. But at the same time, Yuumi, Hecarim, very, very strong combo together. You attach to, oh, it's Galio. Yep.
Probably Galio. Is that support Galio, or do you think that might
support.
be mid lane, or?
It's a flex though.
Support.
It could be either.
Definitely agree that it could be flex. Yeah, let's
getting kind of mad there.
Yeah.
Calm down. We don't like you when you're angry. OBS Ninja doing some fancy stuff, turning
yeah,
a bit
it's
green.
Totally. I'm just nervous about this game number 1 and how champ select is going so far.
Is that an Aphelios lock-in? RSA
I mean, currently it's
Aphelios.
Harvard, I think.
No, it's
Hey,
locked in. We moved into the second ban phase, so we've got the bot lane now picked up for the side of DSG, Thresh, Aphelios. So for those of you guys who don't know, Thresh is one of the strongest supports with Aphelios. It offers him exactly what he
100%.
wants. He has that reposition, he has the peel, he has the engage, and Aphelios can basically play towards that according to what gun combo he's running at the time. Predictions and bans?
Yeah. So I'm thinking if you're on the side of DSG, anything that is hard engaged that you don't want to have to deal with, you're going to want to take off the board now, because it seems like you're going for a protect the ADC comp, and you just want to get everything that can like hard go out of the way. So Karma ban definitely makes a lot of sense. There, are we missing another ban? Rel's another champion that we also missing.
Another
That's
new
who's
champion.
missing there.
True.
Yeah, we shall have that fixed in the proceedings.
Riot Games just releasing too many new champs for us to keep up, you know? It's their fault, not ours.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, for those of you guys that haven't already figured it out, the first ban from B5 was Viego, and the final ban, Rull, the two most recent champions. As for DSG locking out that Nocturne, oh, actually no, I'm mistaken, it's actually Rull from the side of DSG.
Yeah, and like I said, we kind of want to get rid of anything that has really hard engage potential, and Rel and Nocturne both really fill that role of just basically push R and go. Cho'Gath coming out as well.
We've seen Cho'Gath actually recently on one of the smaller casts that we had from, I believe, Tillosaurus playing the Cho'Gath in the top lane, and he definitely made it work. It's an unkillable tank towards the late stages. Hopefully, we see B5 drafting something to potentially deal with it. As for the Galio pick, currently potentially support and support or mid lane, so it's a nice flex. So there's a lot of dynamics still going on B5.
Yeah, I do think the flex was really great. Now with that Gnar lock-in, we do know what's happening in top lane. Gnar versus Cho. Not sure what to expect from that matchup. Maybe you have some insights.
So, Gnar has been stupidly broken for several patches now. He was actually just nerfed, I believe, this patch or the patch before. So he's a little bit of a weaker spot, but he likes to play into these melee matchups. So into the Cho'Gath, he's going to be very, very good. Hopefully, we see some jungle intervention, perhaps from the side of DSG, just to make sure that Cho'Gath doesn't get rolled too hard. But at the same time, I mean, it's a Cho'Gath. He's a tank. He's going to get stacks. He wants to scale. So he doesn't really need a win lane, just gotta play to go even, and potentially for the DSG side play through that bot lane of Aphelios and Thresh, because I think that's gonna be their main win condition thanks to the jungle lock-in.
Yeah, this is looking really, really good. Both sides are really complementing their comps with the Orianna lock-in coming out there to round up the comp. We kind of getting clear sign from B5. It's pretty much wombo combo and go. Put the ball in the horse and just let the horse get that shockwave delivered.
System.
Really, really nice. Exactly. Perfect free delivery. Same with Galio. The horse goes, Galio ulti comes down, just what you want to see. And yeah, on the other side, it's a little less clear what's happening. It's kind of like protect the ADC, protect the two ADCs, I guess, and then have a Cho in the front line.
Yeah, they basically just picked up a tank top lane who's going to do his best. They're going to play for bot side, play weak side top, and let the Ivern plus the Aphelios Thresh come together. As for B5, they have that cheeky Orianna plus Hecarim combo, plus the Galio Hecarim. That's a very, very really strong combo. Hecarim comes in with that Onslaught of Shadows into the Galio ultimate from above, just basically creating so much pressure, so much CC that it's going to be hard for DSG to deal with, especially with that immobile AD carry Aphelios. Hopefully, Lysnek plays the Thresh well enough to reposition and keep him safe. But I'm kind of favoring the B5 roster. I'm liking their draft a little bit more. They've got more, I guess, win condition, more room to play with. DSG kind of just banking on that bot lane getting ahead.
100%. And at the in the same line of thought, you kind of DSG, like I don't feel like they have enough disengage to be able to survive the really strong engage that we're seeing from the side of B5. It's really like, I don't know, I could like as the Thresh pairs so well with the Aphelios, but I feel like you really need something like a Braum or something who can just really like hard know when the Hecarim wants to go.
Wall. I get you.
Yeah, exactly.
As for the mid lane pick, DSG won by locking in the Corki. He wants to go for the late game scale. So looking at the B5 roster, this, like we said before, is basically, I guess, Royalty 2.0. They've got some of the original roster plus a couple of new faces here and there. Miggy, technically a new face, but he has been played in this roster several times before. He's won like finals with them. He retired. He's back out of retirement. There's always a running gag of how long will Miggy be out of the Royalty roster before they bring him back in. It's like an addiction at this point. It's kind of like a cycle. As for not played for multiple other sides, he has as well been on a Royalty roster. Not sure if it's the main roster he's played for, but now he's subbing in, I believe, for Garth, who is currently not able to play. But we might just see Garth come back into the roster at a later stage in the tournament.
I was wondering about Not and Garth. And it was definitely, I know Not, but I wasn't sure if he was playing for B5's main roster. But yeah, glad to have him. Keen to see how he synergizes with the team.
Like, he's a bit of an interesting one. Like, he's played in the competitive SAC in mid lane, he's played top lane, he's played a bit of jungle. Currently, he's playing jungle. He's been playing mid more recently, so I'm interested to see how his Hecarim does. I have not seen him play this champion before, so he's definitely a player to watch out for. Otherwise, any prediction? Which player's going to be popping off in this first game? What do you rate?
I'm going to give it to the Orianna. I feel like she has the most potential to be absolutely popping off and just showing up, as well as for the Aphelios. Those are the two champions I'd say keep your eyes on, and potentially the Gnar as well in the top lane.
100%. Otherwise, guys, we'll be jumping onto the Rift shortly, so we'll see you there. If you need popcorn, you need Coke, you know, you gotta go get the snacks. This is gonna be an absolute banger of a game. First game of the best of 3. We'll see you guys shortly. And we're back in game. 20 seconds of the first of the best of 3. Big 5 in blue, DSG in red.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get underway in this game, and I really feel like this is going to come down to the early game. Yeah, because both of these do have great scaling into the late game, and so wow, just super excited to see.
I have to agree with you on that one. So we have a pretty standard divide and conquer, just spreading out, making sure there's no cheeky invades. You don't want to be that guy who leaves the gate open and your team gets picked off for some early game shenanigans. As for Miggy, showing us the, I guess, is it a chicken? What is it? Is it a goose skin? Galio?
Yeah, that's a chicken. That's like, it's a troll on a certain brand that makes fried chicken specifically. Yeah. That's the skin. Yeah, I actually love it. I think it's a great meme. Ooh, Gnar getting some cheeky poke there on Papa Smithy in the top lane. We got some SS pings going out, and yeah, we're ready to start.
Something to keep in mind is that Ivan does not require a leash. He is one of the few junglers who actually cannot be leashed. So as for blue side B5, red side starts in the bottom, so we're going to see a path into potentially top side Cho'Gath gank around the 3-minute mark. As for Ivan pathing, we'll have to see shortly.
Yeah, 100%. The amount of games that I have people trying to leash me on Ivan and it just ruins my clear. It's just too often.
It's never fun. It's kind of awkward.
Too often.
To be fair, a lot of people forget. Like, I've made that mistake before. I've tried to leash for an Ivan, not really concentrating, but looking at the matchups and that kind of thing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, but everything looks great. Should be getting bot prio on the side of DSG here because of that no need for a pull. Whereas B5 had to pull. Top lane looking pretty even.
I mean, it's actually going to be Papa Smurf pulling ahead in the CS. Jetlash should slowly but surely whittle away at the Cho'Gath, creating some more pressure and trying to potentially create that early game advantage. But maybe we have the Hecarim intervention coming through.
Jetlash recently role swapped to ADC, but I'm actually seeing him back in top lane.
That's a good point,
actually. Must be due to not being subbed in here. Well, Garth is not
Lancer stepping up. A little bit low on mana, but he does get the fight for the victory in the mid lane. That small little brawl. DSG has teleport, as does Lance, so he can look to reset, which we probably do see coming through now from Corki as the recall has been started.
Yeah, meanwhile, Ivan picking up all these camps topside. Both of these junglers look like they're going to have all their camps cleared in the next 20 or so seconds and maybe contest the top scuttle here as Corki's TP is coming out in the mid lane.
Oh. Lance, not forced to reset, has to as well recall, overstaying a little bit, not really realistic to potentially shove that in. Quite readable for Wombat. As for Ivan top lane as well as Hecarim, we do have a little bit of an overextend on a Papa Smurf. He thinks he's safe. Hecarim, bit of a dance.
I think this is great for DSG. They have priors in all 3 lanes that need it. Yeah, not even going to get a contest from the side of Not. Looks like he's just can't contest this. We have absolutely lost this and just walks over, hoping to get bot scuttler. But, ooh, are we going to get a brawl in the mid lane? Or these junglers just handshake?
Candy Cane says, no friends, have some snacks, but you're not coming through to touch my mid lane. The disengage as Miggy now walks now into jungle, wants to be here if Not needs him. Control the scuttle, force Ivan away. That's one of the things you have to keep in mind is that Ivan is not amazing at taking scuttle if there is an enemy jungler pressuring it.
100%. And it seemed like Not gave away the top one because he didn't have prior, but he did have prior in bot lane, which gave him a lot of freedom to pick up that scuttle in bot side as Miggy rotated over.
Right, so we can see Jetlash now starting to have a little bit more pressure. Papa Smurf playing very respectfully, sitting on the teleport as well. We've got the standard double TP from both sides, mid and top having that available, but Wombat and Lance now on cooldown. So, but mid trades, Corki not amazing in the early stages. Can be quite tricky. Ori almost like the Braum of the mid lane, if you will. She doesn't have horrible matchups. She's hello. Lesnek opts to go in, does end up getting taunted. Vanzel a little bit low. The Guardian does come through Lesnek. Vanzel just able to survive the last tick of the Ignite. Not gonna be there as the Lantern says hi. I swear says no. As Miggy's able to walk his way out of that one.
Yeah, that was a really great fight from the side of DSG. And yeah, should be able to clear that lead. Meanwhile, mid gank, Hecarim not going to commit as he heads over to steal the enemy Raptors. as Ivan was spotted bot side. We should get the dragon here from DSG, as the bot lane had to have backed off of that.
Jet last top side. Papa Smurf taking a little bit of damage, but the Drake now focused it down. So hopefully Nick has the right guns for that dragon objective. Unfortunately, it looks like he has the root gun, which is not amazing. Perhaps a little bit
the
of prep.
Graviton is not what you want to have. Neither of those two are super great, although Crescendium, which he just got, is great for taking dragons.
So
Doesn't
despite
look like Hecarim is interested in contesting.
yeah, that bot lane gank not really netting them any kills. No real summoners were burnt. He lost the Ignite on the Snake, but the main victory was the fact that they got the priority for Drake. They forced the bot lane from B5 to reset, which means they can quite easily rotate in and take the first mountain. So good job to DSG so far.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know about that Aphelios back there though, because he's going to lose a lot of waves, and Tristana can easily get plates with that passive on the tower.
Yeah, Tristan is a turret-taking machine, you've got to keep that in mind, but at the same time, Listnex showing us he's got a couple of games on Thresh, he can land the cheeky hook here and there. Jet last top side, does go Gnar.
Whew, holding my breath there. Scared of a bot dive happening, and somehow, how is the gold lead already 1,000 on the side of B5?
Bit of a lead in the jungle, that's the main factor, and bot lane slowly pulling ahead as well.
Wow. Yeah, 1,000
Oh,
gold
mid lane
with no
not.
death.
Lance missing the shockwave, but doesn't matter. DSG not able to get over the wall. Force the flash out as the Onslaught of Shadows is baited out and outsmarted. Wombat coming through. Kind of clean, I like it, good job.
Yeah, you're really happy if you're Wombat. The fact that there's a shockwave missed there. Ooh.
Oh, Listnek, I just gave you a compliment, my dude. You can't be missing these flash hook plays. Perhaps flashing a little bit late, the lantern coming through. But a bit of a disconnect. I like the fact that DSG is aware they need to play through bot side. They're playing for the Aphelios. It's what we said in Champs Flick. It's their win condition. They need this bot lane to get ahead, especially in the early.
100%. And I think everyone is a little bit nervous to have the first live stream going, and maybe that's why we're seeing some missed skill shots. That is, I want to say, too characteristic of either of these teams, of really high caliber players.
I mean, I'm even a little bit nervous, just making sure everything goes well. So fingers crossed we have no random OBS crashes or like 10-minute pauses where suddenly load shedding or one of the players has a router malfunction. So fingers crossed. I mean, League SA is notorious for having these long pauses. Oh.
Ooh. That Ivan. Yeah, that was
Wombat.
super close.
Right, so Rift is on the map. But Dragon's still going to be off for another 2.5 minutes, so I'm interested to see whether either side plays for that top side objective. As for the Hecarim now making his way towards bot side, Miggy still level 5, does not have that grand entrance, so he's not going to be able to cross map.
Yeah, really happy with the teams across the board here, though. It seems like the bot lane lead has kind of evened out, and we're looking really, really even. CS looking good on both teams, mainly at this point the jungle difference between Ivan and Hecarim, and that's expected as Ivan gets slightly less camps from the Krugs.
So we do have a bit of a bait. This is a long investment. B5 have been trying to set this play up for a couple of seconds, not at least 30 or so. So if it does not work out according to plan, not going to be falling behind on that lead. We do have a hook coming through. Listnek just cannot help himself as not, and the boys do pull trigger. That's going to be one. Can they get two? No. Vanzel just able to survive, but the Corki package now coming through. Wombat looking to try to join this fight. Vanzel has no flash. He has the exhaust though. Rest in peace, Mr. Wombat finds himself his first kill. It looks like Miggy will be in trouble. The second is going to be the disengage Onslaught of Shadows as I swear does end up rotating down. So it looks like DSG just off to a great start.
Beautiful, beautiful Corki package there. Just, wow, beautiful to see. 2 kills to 1 is great, and it's on the 2 carries that needed the most on the side of DSG for this protect the ADCs comp to work out. You really need to get the gold onto these guys, and yeah, that's a bit worrying for B5. You do not want to be giving those guys any gold, otherwise they can easily start to run away with it.
And the gold is exactly where you want it. It's on your Corki, it's on your Aphelios, it's the 2 carries. The rest of the team can sort of just function around them. As for top lane, Papa Smurf just trying to survive. He's looking to try to disengage. He's pure armor, so he is a bit tanky as the stun into the rock. Jetlass not quite having the damage as he is forced to walk away. A little bit sad. Papa Smurf, on the other hand, having no TP means he will be forced out of a couple of waves.
100%. And we do have the dragon spawning. That's why we're seeing Miggy as well as the snake contesting for vision here around the bottom riverside. They just want to set up for that dragon that'll be spawning in the next 24 seconds.
Right, so it's going to be on Nick Wolf this game. He needs to make sure that he positions perfectly. He cannot afford for Vanzo to find him in a dark corner. The hop, the bomb, the instant kill. Nick Wolf just needs to try stay alive, play for levels, play for gold, play for items.
100%. I'm super surprised to actually be seeing out this Tristana's pick come out. It doesn't feel like the highest priority in pro play from what I've seen, so that one is a little bit of a surprise, but it does have a lot of range, which makes it possible to deal with Aphelios a little bit later.
Wombat mid lane, Lancerius forced away. Wombat just creating so much pressure for this dragon as both teams look to try and move towards it. Unfortunately, Ivan's still topside, means that B5 should have the priority to go. They're just going to give it, potentially look for topside Scuttle, maybe Rift, but I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, I think DSG were in a decent enough spot to potentially fight for this, but I respect the decision to give it up and look to just try play slow and catch gold instead.
Oh, 100%. And also, Shockwave coming out.
Wombat overcommit. He does not have that flash up yet, so he will get baited, outsmarted. Lancerius finds himself neutralize that first kill in the mid lane, so B5 now back on the board with a 0.5k gold lead.
Yeah, the other thing to notice is that we actually did have the Gnar come down bot lane to help that dragon happen. Meanwhile, top lane's having a fight as well.
Shadow does come through. PapaSmurf not going to find anyone with the knockup as Lance does come through. Unfortunately, has no shockwave. He burnt it in that previous fight, but they did stop the rift. So not only did B5 get the dragon objective, but they cancelled the trade. So very, very nicely played as that lead slowly shifting to B5. Do you think TSG is going to pull this back?
100%. Like at this point, it's still really, really on a knife's edge. It could really go either way at this point. And if DSG just makes some smart plays, catch some plays out, they can definitely still pull this back and snatch win number one.
Top lane. So PapaSmurf just looking to try clear wave. But to touch back on that topic of the Tristana pick, so Aphelios is an any carrier who's very low range, very immobile. He has no real get out of jail cards outside of his flash, so the Tristana does exactly what Aphelios doesn't want. She hard commits. She jumps on your head, you have to burn exhaust. I like the fact and I respect the fact that Nick Wolf has opted for that exhaust. It's very good in Tristana, but at the same time Tristana having her own means it kind of nullifies it to an extent.
Yeah, it's interesting to see both the ADCs running exhaust.
Bot lane?
The only other ADC I could argue you could play into the Aphelios matchup might be Kai'Sa. There's a very similar thing and is a little bit more popular than
I think Kai'Sa's picked into Aphelios pretty often. Oh, Nick Wolf opening with the ult into the Reef, but it does not seem much is going to come from that as mid lane. B5 not and Wombat taking two fights on different fronts. Unfortunately, Nick Wolf not really getting the snare that he wants. Vanzo immediately pulling trigger to get out of that.
Yeah, that was looking really close. I was holding my breath. Someone was bound to die there, and just everyone seems to disengage and just be like, nope, we're good. And also was a bit of miscommunication between Not there and the Orianna. It seemed like Orianna was moving down for the bot protect, and Not was going hard on the mid gank. Just a little bit of miscommunication there.
Top lane, just the standard island we're gonna farm up. CS leads slightly in favor of Jetlust, but PapaSmurf holding his own, so we should definitely see a tanky boy towards the later stages from Mr. PapaSmurf.
Yeah, 100%. And I wonder how much value a Cho brings compared to an all.
Ivan attempt on the top side. Do we get the trigger pull? I swear so. No, the chain CC not quite there. PapaSmurf gets the knockup, but we don't really see it going anywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was really close. Just miscommunication maybe there, because you definitely could have landed the chain CC there as the knockup came through for PapaSmurfy.
Well, so bot side of the map, still a minute and a half till the Infernal Drake does spawn. However, we do have already B5 just setting up the vision control. You can see the ward placement. The entirety of the bot side around the dragon in the river has been lit up. And we need to see DSG Summoner walk through as a group to try and clear it, because if they clear it by themselves, they're going to be picked off. They have B5 waiting in the shadows.
Yeah, we did see a small amount of ward clearing there, and then they just kind of pushed back and decided, hey, we good, we don't want to do this. Also, a thing to note for this Dragon team fight coming up is Papa Smurf, he does not have his TP, whereas you do have a TP on the side of the Gnar in Jetlust, which definitely could be a problem,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
a
might
turning
just need to
point.
concede that Dragon if they can't have a number match.
So you can already see Jetless resetting. He's now bought his items. B5 are basically prepping for this Dragon contest. They're aware of the fact that DSG does not have that top lane teleport, so they have the numbers advantage. Papa Smurf needs to shove wave, rotate down if they are going to go for this contest. They have package on Wombat, so it's definitely a possibility. Do we see the communication coming through though?
Great, just ward clearing coming out of both teams here. They know what the next objective is that is spawning soon, and everyone's just
Ooh.
setting up for it. Package.
Unfortunately
Probably
expiring,
expires to expire.
so yeah, forced to use
Yeah.
it, does get burnt. That's super unfortunate. That's the kind of thing that you learn with Corki with experience, the duration of the package, at what point you should pick it up so you have it ready for this fight, because that is a big misplay, they really needed that package to make the difference.
100%. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be losing your package before the fight, and also it's really great for you to get items and pull back, doesn't
Blue
TP
side
coming in,
teleport.
like-
Papa Smurf has the consume. He's going to try his zone. Jetless wants to get into the fight for the big lockdown. Here comes the Outside Shadows into the Wombo combo. It's going to be CC for days as B5 look to do as much as they can. Backline Vans will force a flash out as he does end up trading. The exhaust coming through clutch. 2,000 health on the Dragon, but majority of DSG are now down, all 2 members to 1. So the objective does go to B5, and DSG looked pretty good, but unfortunately just not going to work out. Wombat. Rest in peace,
super low
Knots.
as the Hecarim just picks that one up. Wow. Yeah, that's the power of the Wombo combo on the side of B5. You clump up on something like a Dragon and you let them land the Galio, the Gnar ultis, it's not going to be great for you.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a really nice pick on Avanza, but they committed so many members that they just left their backline to sort of deal with the CC and the damage that came through from B5, so perhaps everybody on a little bit of a tighter script, a little bit of a better playing field. B5 communication definitely working out, and just showing us why this combination is just so strong.
Yeah, really strong combination. This Galio and Hecarim, and honestly, even the Orianna working perfectly in sync with each other. Being able to get the Herald here would be so great as well. B5 just really starting to push their lead of 3,000 gold. Just, wow, yeah, opening up this game.
Right, so if you had a prediction in this game, what is the outcome? Is this going to be the B5 victory, or is this DSG? Where are you swaying for the
Yeah, at
first
this
game?
point, it's 100% B5. Just showing me how well they could execute this Wombo combo. I have so much faith in them to be able to pull it off, and it's going to be really hard for DSG to do anything without that disengage that I talked about earlier.
It's kind of like an uphill battle at this point. DSG is trying to fight their way back. They're in a good spot. I mean, Nick Wolf's still in a decent one. He hasn't died yet. He's sitting on a substantial amount of gold, as well as the items are starting to come through. So he is in a position to become the DSG, carry the DSG backbone that they need. You can see Hollow Snake just sort of hovering with Lantern to get him out as they do push up for this turret. A little bit extended, ends up not unfortunately getting the turret, but does survive and disengage. So DSG are not out of it, but definitely as the game becomes a little bit later, B5 becoming, I guess, just easy to pull off.
100%. It's looking just... I mean, it's essentially the only thing that could go wrong for them is the Gnar timing, because that's notoriously difficult to get right. Having the Gnar in the team fights and being Mega Gnar, not Tiny Gnar.
Yeah, so I mean, touching on that, like we said before, there's been a lot of rumors of lane swaps in this roster, perhaps Jetlust going bot lane and Vanzo going top lane. In this case, they've gone for the standard Jetlust top, which is what we know him for, and Vanzo bottom as well. But I would not be surprised if we did see some cheeky lane swaps and role swaps towards the later stages of the tournament. Maybe some of the tougher games, some of the bigger names, like your ATK v B5 series, you might just see like a secret weapon coming out.
100%. Definitely keen to see some spicy and secret weapons coming out to just surprise us. Yeah, across the board, everything looking really good. I'm
Oh, trigger
just
pull,
kind of...
Jetlust. Does get the pen as the Knot flank is there. Rest in peace of Wombat. You're just taken out of here as we should see the Rift come through for this bot lane tier 1 turret and B5's third turret.
Harold also going to be spawned here. Probably going to actually hit the second tower. Doesn't even need to hit this one really. Yeah, there might even be 2 towers going to the side of B5 as they just extend the gold lead even further. Ivan getting caught.
So DSG does have a fairly decent scale. The issue is that Nick Wolf, the Aphelios, is going to struggle into this comp. B5 have basically drafted insanely high CC champions, and they just do not have the tools to deal with all of it. You've got the Tristana jumping in, you've got the Galio having 3 different forms of CC, you've got Jetlas's Mega Gnar, as well as that Onslaught of Shadows and the Shockwave. Realistically, Nick Wolf has to position like an absolute god to actually be able to put out any damage in these fights, so it's not an easy spot in terms of how to play the fights for DSG, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it really feels to me like there was a bit of a, I don't know, it was a little odd in Champ Select to see because the Hecarim was first pick and Aphelios was round 2, I want to say, in the draft. And if you see a Hecarim, do you really want to pick Aphelios knowing that there's already a Hecarim running at your ADC?
Lantern placed. Yeah, DSG are just really pushing for this mid-tier 1 turret. They want that first brick. They unfortunately have dropped 3 already. Baron on the map as well as Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. It's going to be the second Infernal for B5, and that's a lot of extra damage. The DSG perhaps have to contest this, but at the same time, do they risk that as they lost that last T fight pretty hard?
So, it does seem like we are heading into...
Oh, but quick resume. That's new. I've always known League and SA to have that 10-minute pause.
Wow, super quick pause. Yeah, anyone wondering why that pause happened? Miggy was having a little bit of issues probably with the connection, and seems to have been
work out how Galio works.
Straight back into game.
He's too used to playing Seraphine. Just trying to figure out how the chicken's buttons work. So he had to go for a quick pause. But nonetheless, Dragon now spawned. We should see a team fight erupting. DSG have that consume. They've got the ultimate for Cho'Gath, so he will have that potential flash steal away. So B5 cannot even let DSG into the river area. Package.
100%. You do not want to be walking into this Wombo combo. And if anything, I feel like these guys need to be staying a little bit more separate, even though, as you can see now, DSG is really clumped up together. That's not what you want to be doing into a Wombo comp that B5 have here.
So the dance is there. We got Wombat sitting on package. B5 perhaps just looking to try and stall out. We should see the Dragon come through. So that's a really, really big condition for B5. They have that Gnar already come through. Means that if he drops to range Gnar, he's not going to be nearly as good as in this fight. And that's exactly what DSG are trying to play for as they slowly allow, but Aphelios showing middle on the shove means that Gnar will pull trigger. The Onslaught Shadows in the backline as Nick Wolf in a really, really good position. And Galio just trying to create as much pressure as he can, and the exhaust or the taunt will be there as B5 try to start a trick, but they realize they're just not going to be able to, and DSG just playing this team fight perfectly.
Beautiful, beautiful team fight. Just pulling away, disengaging, not taking the fights where there's a chance of the Wombo. Fight keeps on.
Wants to go for the contest. There's no reason for DSG to rush this objective. They have numbers. They've got health advantage. B5 Jetlass now building up the Mega Knight. Yes, the body. There's the engage. We're talking about the little bit too far of the trigger pull. The flash not going to be working out as B5 Miggy as well drops dead. Nick will finds himself his second kill. The Dragon on 900 to consume. No, blue team. Hecarim able to find the smite difference. DSG Papa Swerve just too short.
Oh. Come on, at least, oh, this is tragic. DSG going to be slowed by that command dissonance by the Orianna and not going to get anything for that. Just Dragon stolen right under their noses. They really had full control of that fight and performed beautifully, and just unfortunately, yeah, the pony was a thief and really got what he wanted to get there.
I mean, DSG were looking so good. They had that team fight won, the objective. They could have played it slow, but Papa Smurf just unable to get the ultimate. He wants the stack, but B5 not showing us that he's very ready in the jungle with the Hecarim smite.
Yeah, not absolutely performing great. Love to see this, especially considering that he's probably the
Dragon
fight here, as we see Wombat getting comboed, just instantly goes down.
That is not good. That's potentially a Baron fight if B5 can play it correctly. The DSG Wombat was a lot of the damage for their team, so realistically I don't see DSG contesting if they do go for the objective, but they have again that ultimate for the top lane, the Cho'Gath consume if he can get into the pit with Art Flash.
100%. I'm super confused as to what he was doing there because his ward was actually on cooldown at the time. So
maybe contesting the Scuttle?
Contesting Scuttle? Ah, well, yeah, never mind. Scuttle, good point. Yeah, I was just wondering, like, if you don't have a ward, why are you doing that, bro? If you're warding, it makes sense. Ooh. Vanzor versus big Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath realizing, hey, that's a Giant Slayer. Do not want to be fighting this.
Do not want? It's the triple dragon. So next Drake will be Soul. That's a lot of pressure. DSG now forced to actually contest.
Yeah, 100%. And they need to be careful about this contest again. The Wombo combo is so powerful from B5. And if you just get a little bit nervous or you start playing too forward, Vanzor.
Papa Smurf, the jump, the hop, the knockup, not going to be the reposition as he plays it perfectly. B5 Vanzor goes huge.
Yeah, that water is absolutely melting that monster. And wow, just love to see it. And just some vision clear going out here by Miggy as, yeah, they really just kind of getting control of the game, setting up for this potential Baron to come.
Yeah, and speaking of loving to see it, let's take a look at that again. The 1v1, kind of clean. Oh. Nope.
I guess,
okay, we're gonna see it again IRL. It seems DSG Wombat's gonna be the main focus this time instead, so Cho'Gath unfortunately not gonna be shown on the replay, but instead IRL Vanzor finds himself the double 1v1 and the Baron objective now free for the side of Big 5.
Oh, is this another kill for Vanzor? Vanzor's actually getting 1v1 really hard. Hopefully they can get a kill here. That's great. At least they should get a kill for the trade on that Baron going to the side of B5 on the top side as Hecarim and half the team pick that up.
It's a bait though. It's ultimately the Vanzor pulling multiple members of DSG down towards bot side means that the objective Baron is free on 4 members. And B5 now in a pretty good spot, but at the same time, speaking of good spots, Nick Wolf double buff, 3 kills, 250 farm. He's working towards that 3-item win condition.
Yeah, 100%. Both of these carries on DSG are looking good, and they have the goal they need. It's really just can the team support them and keep them alive in these crazy, crazy team fights that are to come. Yeah, so we do have Infernal Dragon showing up in 1 minute, and Baron is still in play, which means that, yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult. You have to be playing defense while also getting vision and trying to get ready for that dragon that is showing up soon. Lots of things to think about. And DSG just can't let this one go because it is Soul, as we have stated before.
100%, like you mentioned, with the Baron now means they have so much more pressure. Top lane, Corki forced now answer. He has teleport to rotate down, but he just cannot afford to if Jetlass is going to have that pressure, because you rotate Corki down for this dragon contest, you're going to lose potentially inhib off that player.
100%. Especially with Gnar, he's been really, really good at pushing for the last 3 or 4 patches. Oh my word, solo kill. Flash coming out of Wombat there. Just
not good.
Jetlust. Wow.
Need the flash for the fight that's coming through. Papa Smurf forced to walk in first as he is the tanky frontline. Reposition tool now burnt. The Snack not going to have another lantern for a little bit, 5 to 8 seconds.
Yeah, this is a really tough decision. Looks like Wombat just conceding top lane. Teleport going to be coming in, surely.
Yep, Jetless looking for the reposition. There's the teleport coming through for the flank. They have them nicely placed ward. Papa Smurf so low. He goes to the side's backline, also the shadows. Not a bad position for Nick Wolf as he does end up burning flash unnecessarily. The B5 not new focus. That's going to be 2 members down to the side of DSG as the fight goes through. And Nick Wolf dead, lost alive, Wombat, and I swear, but Wombat needs to clutch. He has no sums as Zoe plays for time.
Oh man, yeah, that was tragic. It seemed like DSG were kind of split between rushing the Infernal and fighting, and just a little bit of miscommunication there. I'm surely they could have.
Oh, hello.
Ooh, not getting shot down. Wombat saying he's not going down without a fight, and still 0 death.
You're very, very
Try,
greedy. You're walking into that jungle blind, trying to find the cancel and the reset. So they do end up losing a member, plus the Baron, which will expire shortly. Inhib should be the icing on the cake. The triple Infernal plus the Infernal Soul means that B5 have damage. They are ready to rumble, and the gate's now open. Let's see whether this is a clean closeout.
Wow, yeah, this Gnar is really showing up for the side of B5, and honestly, it is just so good to see. Vanzo obviously doing lots of damage from the side, but just a highlight for me so far is this Jetlust just performing. So much jungle getting stolen here by B5, which is really just making the bleeding worse as we hit 10,000 gold difference between these two teams.
Yeah, that is not a good spot. 10k gold is really hard to come back from. I think back in the day, one of the few champs that were used to try and make up for that like 10k gold lead was a Gangplank. You get these massive like barrel combos. Doesn't matter how far you're ahead, but in this case, no signs of something like that. So it's not looking good for DSG, but by no means are they out. It's going to come down to, can B5 close the game out cleanly? This is something we see a lot of teams struggling with, especially low-ranked teams in SA. Not really sure how to close a match out. They have a mid inhib. What do they do now? Predictions?
100%. Like at this point, I feel like it's going to come down to the soul. You're going to have the soul fight, and DSG is just going to get aced, and it's going to be over. Like these carries just do not have the protection that they need, and it seems like there's a little bit of miscommunication between the team, where like half the team is trying to rush the dragon, and the other half of the team is trying to zone. Feels really odd.
So we can already see B5 playing for the dragon objective control. Like they want to have bot side completely dewatered. You're not allowed to walk up. This is now B5 jungle. They've taken up all the way to the base entrance. We need to see potentially DSG just playing for that turtle, play for shallow vision, deny anything that DSG could use, sorry, B5 could use for a pick. In this case, B5 not popping the movement speed, the knockback to the Papa Smurf. Not exactly who you think they're gonna pick, but that does not matter. The Cho'Gath is down, man down, 4v5 now, as inhibitor number 2 is the focus. Shockwave, yet again, Lance not able to find the connection. It's the second Shockwave he's missed this game.
Yeah, honestly, can't believe that just how quickly that Papa Smurfy is getting melted by this team. Between the Giant Slayer and the Hecarim damage, just way too much damage. Wow.
Right, so Baron on the table in 20 seconds. Topside vision control, potential trap. DSG forced to now walk in. Papa Smurf respawning in 10 seconds, has teleport available, so he could look for a contest, a potential Baron steal. I feel like DSG's best window back into this game will be that Baron steal. B5, on the other hand, do not want to risk the objective, instead take the fight. You're almost guaranteed to win these fights with the triple Infernal plus Soul.
100%. I mean, the other place where DSG really have an opportunity is Alder. I think people, like, whenever I'm playing, I really don't like to get Alder unless I'm really far ahead. Because if games are too close and someone steals Alder, the game just, you instantly lose the game because Alder is so strong.
True. So DSG, instead of contesting Baron, are going to play for the Alder contest and give up the objective. This is going to make it a lot trickier to defend. Like, if DSG
they
are able
also
to...
don't have... They don't have great champions for stealing. I mean, that like Cho'Gath Flash R, it's not like a Hecarim
that's pretty good. That's as good as you get, really, for contest steal.
This is going to be absolutely crazy. I'm really keen to see this fight breaking out in 2 minutes. I mean, they could even end with Baron. Do they even need the Alder? Should they even
Probably
risk
not.
flipping it? Ideally not. Please don't. Like, the amount of games you lose over Alder flips are just too high.
So this is kind of interesting. They put 4 mid lane, they're looking to control topside vision. Cool. They're putting jungle at top to get the shove and potential flank. B5 and not. Now mid lane shoved in as the 5-man rotates to top. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get the tower and this inhib because it's the opposite side of the spawning Alder. Which leaves someone needing to TP into the fight. Meanwhile, Thresh Hook.
Ori.
No.
First member dead is going to be Thresh now down. Nikolov has no real peel as the taunt does come through. Wombat forced to disengage Flash and not unfortunately able to get the damage, but Jetlust maybe... Actually, it's going to be Vanzilla picking up the kill as Jet finds himself his double in Nexus and first game in B5's favor, I guess. GG, well played.
Wow, what a game by the side of B5. Just looking so clean. Absolutely love to see it. Just, wow, the Wombo shining and just cleaned it up there in the end.
100%. You ready to go through for some casters discussion? What are your thoughts on the game? On the first game?
Head into the caster scene.
Oh, we're still here. These guys still haven't left.
First game, absolutely great.
Okay, so I mean, we said before that the win condition for DSG was to get that affiliates early ahead. He did get a lot of gold, but just not able to deal with the comp that was drafted by Big Five, showing us how much CC and pick potential they have. Where do you think DSG could have played it better? How did they turn this game into a potential victory? What are your thoughts?
I want to say like there was some uncontested dragons that definitely was like just really tragic. Like Gnar moving down and Cho'Gath not being at all on the same page, just chilling, farming the lane, and then not trading anything topside. Like there was a missed Herald there, if you remember correctly. Like there was a completely
the traded objective, but went badly.
You can't do that because you essentially giving them. It's like you either lose one and you gain one, or you lose two and gain zero. Like please take one for one. Don't make it a 0 for 2. That's not what you want to do. And yeah, just feel like you kind of drafted Aphelios and Protect the ADC into a dive comp that you saw coming from pick number 1 with that Hecarim. Maybe don't pick an immobile ADC when you have a Hecarim first pick. At least ban the Heca if that's what your plan is.
Definitely one of the champs that he is going to struggle with. You can't exactly peel off a Hecarim with the likes of Thresh that easily. A reposition with the Lantern, sure, but realistically that Onslaught Shadows is going to create so much pressure. So like you said, a Hecarim ban or takeaway or different form of AD carry that you could potentially put in that spot. Any thoughts as to which AD carry you would have liked to have seen instead?
I'm even thinking Kai'Sa has a big potential there. Would have looked great. The Gnar really showed up today. That Gnar was looking so good. Solo killing, almost solo killing the Corki in the top lane. It was just looking really, really clean. Jetlas showing up. Vans are showing up. Who do you think player of the game would be?
Well, first game player. That's a good question actually.
Definitely not Orianna. A bit too many missed
shame. It's your first game of the tournament on the big screen as well. A lot of people watching, some nerves coming through. You gotta cut him some slack. I can see the last carry in the second game. That's gonna be my money. But first game, I'm thinking Vanzor actually. He had some cheeky 1v1s.
Yeah, true. Vanzor was putting so much pressure on that first Baron play that came out, where he was 1v1 solo killing someone and then solo killing a second person while we were trying to get that reap. Welcome back, everybody, to the Mercedes-Benz ATK League of Legends Champion Series, powered by Elgato and MSI. Yeah, we are excited to get into game number 2. Game number 1 was an absolute banger of a game. DSG really just holding it down and trying to get that victory, and B5 just wombo comboing their way to victory.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very intense series. So far, at least, there's potentially 2 more games. I mean, we said B5 were the team to watch out for in this series. They're showing us why, pulling off the comp according to plan. Didn't really look like they were in a position ever where they were concerned of potentially losing that game. So good job to them so far. I'm quite keen to see what they have up their sleeve still. Do we get the same draft? Do we get that potential lane swap coming through? What the plan is? But second game is normally when it gets a little bit more spicy. First game, you're kind of feeling out the other team, seeing what's happening today. Are we here to try harder, or are we taking to like a bit of a coast? So second game, we should see a lot more kills left, right, and center.
Yeah, it also tends to be a bit more experimentation, and also nervous jitters tend to be something that you see. Yeah, Orianna ults, but mostly just everyone. I think you're always nervous in the first game, a little bit like, ooh, what's happening? Like there's just a lot of nerve and super adrenaline rushes, and I think it tends to calm down and you kind of get into your flow by game 2, 3.
Speaking of game 2, let's take a look at the champ selectors. We have started the draft.
Great.
Right, so ban straight off the bat. No Viego, no hidden ban this time. Seraphine Udyr yet again. I like the center ban coming through from the side of B5. No signs of a fasting center this game, that's for sure.
100%. And at this point, it's really seeming pretty normal. Lucian bans, same bans that we saw last time. Just the teams have swapped sides at this point. And I'd really like to see this Hecarim ban, or at least please don't pick Aphelios into Hecarim first pick. But since DSG has first pick, maybe there's an argument that they're going to leave that Hecarim open and hope to pick it up themselves.
Right, so, I mean, what are your predictions? I look at the draft purely off the first game outcome. Are we going to have a third game? Where are we going with the Caster's Curse?
I definitely think it's going to be 2 games at this point. Like B5 just showing everything so far, looking good. Bans are completely outplaying there in the bot lane in basically 2 1v1s in a row. And yeah, it just seems like everything is on the ball with B5. They're just absolutely showing up today.
Right, so let's see whether the draft is it's kind of on the same page as the last one. I mean, if it works, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we have the Lilia lock-in. That's a different one. We haven't seen TSG Lilia. They went for a more of a defensive peel, play around your bot lane jungler for the first game. Instead, now prioritizing the... I guess it's still on theme. Ivan, Lilia, kind of the same vibes, but not the same champion playstyle, really.
Yeah, different playstyles, but very same, like, in terms of, like, theme and thematically. Both loving the jungle, and really happy champs that just love the jungle. Yeah, Lilia, I'm really happy to see that pick. It's got so much potential to pop off and carry, and multiple different build opportunities. We could see a more Ivan-style Lilia pick that's been super popular, with more support items and kind of just healing up the team. Or we can see super damage-orientated Lilia. So it is a bit flexible, even though it's 100% going to be in the jungle. Meanwhile, we see the Tristana and Thresh lock-in on the side of B5.
Okay, so they've stolen away the Thresh, which I can respect. We saw that the Snack was quite comfortable in that pick, so I know it's something that Miggy plays as well, so perhaps a bit of a Thresh v Thresh contest for that pickup. In this case, game 2 going to Miggy, saying, "Sit down, calm down. I'm the real true Thresh player here. Let me show my stuff." On the other hand, the Karma lock-in, which I kind of like, a Karma flex pick between mid and support. So there is even potentially top lane, as we only have the AD carry lock-in in this case. DSG hitting us with that flex.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that as soon as you show the Ezreal with the Karma, we're kind of assuming those two are going to pay up in bot lane, as they are a really nice combo. Lots of poke, lots of mobility, lots of escape. You're not going to get caught out if you're playing that lane really well. Shyvana. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's something that we've seen not play in the past. He likes his AP Shyvana. Kind of cheese, kind of like, I want to solo carry, let me do the work this time. Opting for the Hecarim and the previous for that fight disruption, as well as pressure onto Aphelios in this case. We have a little bit more of a less power farm and potentially 1v5 late game.
Yeah, 100%. And we also actually did end up having a Viego ban, which is what is missing on the side of B5. Maybe respecting something on DSGs that they have in their pocket there, banning it out twice in a row. And now we have the Sion ban coming out. They don't want that tanky boy in the top lane. It seems like they have an answer to the Cho'Gath in the forms of the Gnar, but maybe they don't have an answer for the Sion in the top lane.
I mean, Viego, I think, is just a sleeper AP. He's been broken since release. Like, Riot's hardly touched him. I think it's just a very, very safe ban. As I think DSG as well do play the champion. As for the Gnar, taken away means that you're allowed some more tanky, beefy top laners. You don't have to be too sweaty with the ranged top lanes. Maybe we get a Vayne as a counter to a tank, but Malphite, on the other hand, banned away by B5 this time.
I mean, it's not a terrible ban. I think it's kind of like they're just like, we don't want to give you a better wombo combo than our wombo combo, is I think what B5 is thinking with that ban. And yeah, the Gnar pick is great to see taken away because it is so strong into many of the melee top lane matchups, and you don't want to give that away. Urgot going to be the final ban on DSG's side.
So Urgot's been a very strong pick for the top lane recently with the buffs and changes. I think it was nerfed recently, but still definitely one of the top tier top lane picks. So I like the Urgot ban. As for the second rotation of the draft, what are you thinking? Do you have any predictions on champs?
Not Corki was what I was thinking, but I think Lance maybe just wants to get some redemption in there. Doesn't have a big button he has to press. It's just a lot of small buttons.
Well, he kind of does. The package. It's got a big button, got a big win condition.
Never mind. Good point. Forgot about that.
I mean, like in this case, it feels like B5 are just like, no, guys, let us show you how to play these champions. Taking away the previous draft from DSG, we have the Ahri pick into Vanza's, well, not Vanza's Corki, but mid lane Corki. Kind of interesting. I mean, you have to consider the fact that Tristana could be put in the mid lane and Corki bot, but I highly doubt we see that. As for top lane, now we can see the Gnar ban was so they could potentially play the Volibear.
I mean, I think Volibear doesn't have that many bad matchups.
No,
I hope that's a joke. Please don't lock that.
It's a meme. That's something that Tilt used to do. That's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I was not. Please don't lock Timo. That's not a winning matchup.
He does what he pleases.
Great. I think that's pretty good.
Did they lock it? They locked in the Mundo. Do we get the top lane Vanzo Mundo? Do we get the last second swap? Or is this going to be the standard Vanzo, AD carry, and Jetlas top? Because Mundo top lane was something that Vanzo played in the finals, I believe, last year. Versus the likes of ATK. So I'm interested to see whether it's going to be the B5 lane swap that we've been watching out for. Or player swap, I guess.
Yeah, maybe they're going to keep that trump card a little bit longer in their pocket and they don't want to show just yet. But yeah, across the board, I'm really happy to see this comp. I actually think DSG kind of came out a little bit on top in this draft. Don't know. I feel like B5 on theme, they want to do different things. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking like Lilia sleep into, like, I feel like Volibear, Lilia, Ahri, there's a lot of pick potential and a lot of fast movement speed coming from the side of Karma, Ezreal, plus Lilia. I don't know. I just think that they have like a death bowl and B5 is just doing a lot of things. Like Shyvana doesn't want to go in if it's AP. Mundo wants to go. Thresh wants to go. Corki needs a front line and his front line is Mondo. I'm a little confused on the B5 side.
I think both comps are kind of like they're just going with more comfort picks. But the gears are grinding in my head trying to work out what the thought process behind these comps are. Like the only real similarities I'm seeing from B5 is they have that go. They've got the all-in trigger pull. They've got the Corki package. They've got the Shyvana ultimate. They've got Vanzo's jump from Tristana and potentially Mega to get anybody out that's in a bad position. So it's kind of like a budget comp for what they were running in the first game, just with way less CC and more damage, I guess. And they're sort of stealing away a card from the DSG side, putting the top lane on a tank island, let them scale. Don't really see any top lane kills coming through this game, no solo kills, nor a jungle priority towards that top side. I feel like both teams probably playing for bot lane in this comp. Ezreal Karma Karma was buffed a while back, so she's not as weak in the late stages. Still very, very strong in the early, so I'd like to see that Lilia playing bot side for DSG.
100%. At this point, it's like looking very, very close on both teams. And yeah, I just want to see how they play this out. I really think this is B5 saying we can kind of win with a comp that is less on theme and perfect because we just are great players. And I really want to see DSG punish and just kind of show up. Like, I think Mondo in the early game might not win against Volibear. And if Volibear can kind of show up and just like get a first blood, get some steam, get that snowball rolling, that would be really, really great because Volibear is one of the big threats for B5. You don't want a Volibear running at the likes of a Corki or a Tristana or a Shyvana for that matter.
My real concern now is that DSG a little bit AV heavy. I feel like Jetlast is going to become super unkillable towards the late stages. They have nothing to really deal with that beefy tankiness. Like, they've got the Ahri, the Karma, so Magic Resist is going to work wonders for Jetlast. That Spirit Visage potentially. Otherwise, it's kind of interesting that Vanzel's prioritizing this Tristana so hard. Do you feel like it's just like a comfort pick? It's something that he enjoys, or is it something he picks into perhaps this bot lane, thinking that like B5 bot lane is stronger, we can just play for the victory, play for that early game like 2v2?
I'm thinking it's probably just a comfort pick, and also like it's never a terrible pick because of the amount of range that you get from Tristana, but at the end of the day, really it's just it's not the most popular pick, we'll say. Like, there is the Kaisers are on the board, there's a Caitlyn on the board, although Caitlyn not as popular as some of the other options. Aphelios, they have the potential for an Aphelios Thresh there, and they're choosing not to take it.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm pretty happy. I've got my quota of Aphelios for today. I don't feel like I need to see that champ anymore. That's enough 200 years for me. Thanks, Riot Games. But second game coming through shortly. Let's jump into the Rift in just a second.
Sounds good.
And we're back for game number 2 of the best of 3. DSG looking good in blue, B5 looking pretty good in red. Pretty standard. We saw a repeat of the first game. It's gonna be that divide. Just make sure nobody crosses the river and make sure everything is good. Okay, tankers, hit me with a prediction. Where's the first blood and what time?
100%. Let's go with top lane and say 5 minutes. I want to say it's going to be this Volibear with potentially a cheeky Lilia gank.
Okay. I'm going to go complete opposite. I'm saying bot lane is going to be Vanzel getting his first kill. I'm going to put it at 2.5 minutes. Going for a ballsy.
Wow, that's early. Yeah, that's a bold one. That's
Don't
a
disappoint
really, really
me.
bold one.
Don't disappoint me. B5.
Please, Vanzo, show us.
Level 2 bot lane trigger pull. I'm seeing Miggy hook into the Vanzor jump. It's gonna be a snack that dies.
100%. Let's see what happens. Let's see which prediction is more true. And if it's mid lane, we can call it a tie. Sounds good?
Right, so a bit of a reverse match at mid lane. Lance showing us the Corki mechanics. Had a bit of a rough time in the mid in the first game with the Ori, but perhaps his Corki's a little bit more prepped. Right, so bot lane.
100%.
Unfortunately, Lesnack and Nick Wolf a little bit later lane. That means that Vanzo and Miggy should have that level 2 priority. They've got the trigger, like, they've got the go, the combat sums, exhaust, ignite. Keep in mind, Nick Wolf and Lesnack opting for the more standard heal and ignite.
100%. It doesn't seem like anything's crazy coming out here. Yeah, push in the top lane.
Oh, Miggy
which
steps
makes
up.
sense.
No. Okay, so DSG is playing it respectfully. Damn.
Yeah.
There goes my
Not
prediction.
what we were
after.
hoping for.
I thought that was going to be the condition right there, where Miggy force flash hooks kind of... Oh, no, okay. Says hello, minion.
Yeah, not the kind of hook we were hoping for at the 2-minute mark. Meanwhile, we do have Lilia finishing up her blue buff, potentially Grump as well. And as we can see, the junglers are kind of pathing away from each other. We have the Shyvana going bot side and the Lilia going top side. That means we won't have the scuttle toss-up that we saw in the previous game, in the early game. And yeah, I would say there was a potential for a top gank, but...
Thrash hook into the flay, Nick Wolf to jump in Vanzel. This is that condition I saw it coming through a little bit earlier, but it looks like Vanzel will be punished by the Snack in the fadeaway top lane. On the other hand, Papa Smurfy looking kind of good. Unfortunately, he does take a turret shot, so the trade equalized a little bit more.
Does seem like we both have our predictions on point. There is so much action happening in both the bot lane and the top lane here.
Okay, so this is what you can afford with the Tristana Thresh Gump. If they get to the turret, they're going to be picking up plates very quickly. That's what Tristana likes to do. She places bombs, she gets destruction, and she gets those early plates, which then leads into an item lead, into a snowball, into Tristana domination. So the issue here is they need the karma to assist with the Nick Wolf shove, as if they don't prioritize the minions, they're going to be just constantly pushed on the turret.
100%. And you do not want to give bot lane a prio here. You are such a safe lane in the likes of Ezreal Karma with the shields and the dashes and the long distance Qs that you can farm with. You should really be really safe. Although we do have a really low mana Ezreal
flash. The flare is going to be the ignite applied. Nick Wolf. Hello, goodbye, Miggy coming through with the first blood. So I got the right lane. I got the wrong player that died, and the time was off by 2 minutes, but I'm happy with that prediction.
Yeah, great prediction. And I honestly just feel like that was Nick Wolf not respecting the fact that he didn't have mana. Meanwhile, not just saying hello, Lilia. And Jetless doing some trading with Papa Smithy there. Jetless hopefully going to be backing here. If this bear hits 6, we do know that Volibear can cancel the tower aggro.
Becomes Esco. Can turn the lights off. At least the turret lights, that is.
Seems like he's going to take a cheater recall instead. And I don't know if that's the right decision, but
I'm sure it's going to be fine.
I guess he should have some prio. Yeah.
It looks like he's going to walk his way back. So not going to burn the teleport in this case. On the other hand, first dragon on the map now spawned is going to be the mountain. And
that's definitely something that the red side would really like to get. B5 want to get the dragon because of how it interacts with Shyvana. And yeah, you also just don't want to give any dragons over to DSG.
Yeah, you really need to prioritize the Miggy right mid lane. Wombat flash, cheeky sidestep. Miggy investing, looking for the big boy hook, but so far 1 out of 3 hooks landing.
Yeah, I was a little bit interested to see that potential Lilia sleep. Unfortunately, not going to be level 6 for that. So, although she hit the E on 2 people, she did not have linting lullabies just yet.
So, I mean, we discussed it before how Shyvana likes dragons. That means that TSG need to prioritize the objective in the bot side, or sorry, the vision around the objective in the bot side. River, as if she's given the opportunity, if B5 can get those prior lanes in mid and bottom, they will look for that sneak. Shyvana is really, really good at taking those dragon objectives.
Yeah, and the pry in the bot lane is really tragic to see, but we do have to mention that there is a TP advantage on the side of DSG in the top lane, as Jetless had to burn TP to get back to lane. So there is a potential here for Volibear to come in if B5 do not respect that TP disadvantage and get caught while trying to sneak that Baron.
So perhaps we won't see B5 looking for the rotation. Hello, Miggy from behind the blind spot. Listnek forced to burn his flash, but it will not be enough. The bot lane roll starting, the snowball building, and it's going to be Miggy and Vanzel behind in the driver's seat. Unfortunately, Shyvana topside means they will not be able to go for the Dragon objective.
Yeah, that is just... it really sucks to see, because I really feel like this Karma and Ezreal should be able to survive this lane. It's an all-in lane versus poke lane that goes in favor of poke.
Yeah, you really need to get that early shove. You cannot afford for Vanzel or Miggy to get level 2 before you, but unfortunately that overleash led to a bit of an issue. Topside, however, not in R6 means he has that Shyvana, the fire, the breath. It's there, but Papa Smurfy is tanky, he's beefy, he's not scared. As not first gank attempt at 7 minutes not working according to plan.
I mean, he did get the ulti burned. Ooh,
not like this
again.
Did I accidentally go to replay? What just happened?
No, that was just an absolute yeah, you hate to see that. That is the worst thing that you could possibly have happen in this game for DSG. Their bot lane needs to get back into the game, and yeah, getting caught like that as you just respawn and walk back in, making it look like a replay is not what you want to see. So at this point in the game, you kind of want DSG to get something. A Dragon, a Herald, a top kill. They really just need to get something, because this is starting to fall apart.
So B5 off to a much better start than the first game, that's for sure. Last game we saw DSG having a bit of a lead in the early stages, which came down to that bot lane matchup in this case. Vanzel and Miggy the Thresh just playing with the vision, now having that Moby boots means he can quite easily roam towards mid lane, look for that controller on vision and potentially sneak Dragon. On the other hand, we do have actually DSG able to rush the objective. I like the call, it worked out and it was pretty free, assuming here that he has the backup. Vanzel a little bit low, unfortunately sleep does come through. Drowsy, the overstay though. Threshold close the flash, engage and not disengage flash, I swear. Able to just survive with his life. A little bit greedy, like he was safe. He could have just walked away, but after burning the sleep decides to turn back and forces himself to lose the flash.
Yeah, and they didn't really trade any summoners on the Tristana, which is what you really hope to do in that case. Yeah, just super clean from the side of B5. The big positive is that DSG did get the Dragon there, so they are kind of recovering a little bit from a really rough-looking lane. Ooh, is this a... Oh, Tristana's back. Otherwise, I would worry about a dive there.
They have package, so they're looking for that window. Tristana now completed her first item. Pretty big spike.
Ooh, mid lane.
Has that XP reposition potential. On the other hand, Rift Herald available for either jungler to look for the sneak. As for the farming, both junglers, they're prioritizing the farm. Like, for sure, Shyvana loves her full clears.
Oh, Miggy flashed Raptor Wall and then completely missed the hook there.
I didn't even
It was a
see
dream.
That.
I saw what you were going for. Yeah, I think directed camera, the camera missed that one, but...
Yeah, because Miggy missed the hook, so the camera didn't even pick it up, you know?
Yeah, camera's like, it's not worth it.
1v2, Vanzel. A lot of damage coming through. Lantern's placement, exhaust applied. Listnek super close actually in that one.
That was super close. Vanzel getting a little bit cocky. There.
Cannot afford to lose that 3-0 shutdown.
I don't know if Papa wins this. He does have ulti.
Exactly what Jetlust wants. Papa Swear for the late turnaround does get the shield. Jetlust forced to flash away, so the top lane tanks hitting each other with wet pool noodles, not really doing much damage, just going through the motions as DSG Papa Smurf. I don't understand this decision making. Oh, hello, Miggy. Plus, puts down the
Some
box and
redemption
torn at the
from
turret.
Miggy.
Miggy will be going down for the trade as the final shot hits and DSG Wombat just able to survive. Miggy playing a little bit disrespectful, but just going back to that top lane, I'm interested as to why they're playing for this top lane. I feel like bot lane snowballing really hard, so perhaps you could, but instead maybe play for that Vanzo snowball, get that turret bot lane early as possible, and look for the lane swap, potentially Rift instead. Why play for the top lane Mundo? It's not a matchup like... Mundo is a Mundo. You get him ahead, he's still Mundo. He's behind, he's still Mundo. He's a tank.
Yeah, you're not changing anything there. I think it's really actually just not babysitting and bailing this Jet Lust
relieving
out.
the pressure?
He's actually having a really, really rough matchup. Like, there's been 2 or 3 times where Jet Lust just barely made it out and didn't die. And it's really unfortunate
from your
because...
top lane tank. Like, isn't that what they're used to? That's all what you need for your top lane tank. Like, that's what they're used to. They get the short end of the stick. They're left to, like, island top lane. Hello, Miggy. Wombat back in the leash. The taunt is there. The damage, however, skill shot's not hitting.
I don't know what Lilia's up to. She's on a different page.
Nothing
as the
good,
rest
it
of the
seems.
team.
Just Mischief.
Yeah, makes super odd. Yeah, I wish I could see the Lilia playing for the top side because normally tanks are not really somebody you care about. But the thing is, Volibear has so much potential to get ahead, and once he snowballs, he tends to just get really out of control, and he can just run down your carries, which is exactly what you want on the side of DSG. You want someone who can run down the Tristana, who can run down the Corki, and I mean the Tristana is getting ahead, so that would be exactly what you want.
Like,
And,
sure, mid lane, not exactly the easiest of lanes to gank, but like Wombat's burnt his dash plus his ultimate from that mid lane roam from Miggy, so perhaps a like mid lane dive is possible, especially if you use like Thresh for a Lantern bot. Otherwise, bot lane, they have that trigger pull, like it's so easy. You can even see Vanzo looking very aggressive, having that 1v2 pressure with Thresh just not showing on the map.
Yeah, at this point, I just kind of want to see Lilia get into the game. It definitely feels like somehow Not is out farming Lilia and also has outganked Lilia, other than the fact that Lilia has gotten a dragon.
Yeah, it's really that
It
jungle
feels a little
dragon
bit-
gap. Okay,
Also
so
possible that Not has had a lot of prio and has been picking up a lot of the scuttle crabs.
perhaps stolen some raptors. On the other hand, Jetless now looking to try to create topside. A vision control dragon spawned. Unfortunately, the top lane having teleport. Keep in mind, however, Wombat running Ignite means that overall B5 have that TP advantage, assuming that it's not on cooldown. Bot lane Vanzo actually going to be Zoe, or in this case, ooh, jungle. Hello, perfectly played, baited and outsmarted. I swear, just waiting in the shadows for the Vanzo inevitable trigger pull. Meanwhile, it's a reverse. Not says hi, not says bye. It's gonna be your jungler now. Dead means no dragon objective for you. Jetless on the other hand, walking his way down. Corki still resetting from base on the way, so ticking time bomb. The reinforcements for the B5 roster here just in a second.
Yeah, you basically can't let Corki get a good package here, as there's 2 low members in the form of the bot lane. Ooh,
Papa Smurfy
here
has the
at
ult.
wrong place.
Could have a look for the over-the-wall Corki package, push him aside, but looks like Lance going super low. Is the flash from Papa Smurf not going to have the damage, and the disengage will be there, as unfortunately Jetless Cleaver finding that last tick, that last little bit of damage as Papa Smurf ends up dying. Taunt Cleaver trade.
Oh man,
Jet
that
Lust?
was just
Ooh.
barely not enough damage on the side of
Wombat.
BSG. Oh, that's so tragic. By the way, there was a beautiful Ari charm that actually caught the Corki mid package. That was so good to see.
Is that what it was? I was wondering why that package felt so weird.
Yeah, that's what happened, and I really want to give credit to Wombat. That was beautiful kiting and just doing so much damage. He landed like 2-3 charms there in a row, and yeah, just Lilia getting caught there by the Knot, and who's down 2 levels. It really feels like the jungle is just becoming a wider and wider canyon as the game goes on.
I mean, I gotta give mad respect to Wombat with the fancy feed, dodging that last cleaver in particular. As for top lane, we have Vanzadon just trying to apply as much pressure as he can. Unfortunately, post 14 minutes means that there are no more plates to pick up. But like, this is what I was talking about before, where they had that lead in the bot lane that could have translated into a top lane lead. Like, Tristana wants to get out of lane as quickly as possible. Pick up that bot turret, play your jungler bot lane, look to try snowball that into another lane, into potentially Riftchild. In this case, we do have that lane swap coming through a little bit off, but at the same time, they want to play for the Riftchild objective, seeing as Dragon is no longer on the map, so having their leading lane, top lane, makes more sense.
Yeah, this is super dangerous, top lane, like, because Volibear plus Lilia have an opportunity to kill Tristana, but the volley is so low that it's like anyone could die top lane right now. And the tower is super low as well.
You generally want to see DSG sending their bot lane top lane instead here. Like, they want to match the swap so that B5 do not have that lead. On the other hand, it looks like Van's on a good spot, working the jump away, but he does get slapped. No, oh, the trade, the DPS, the tick, and the tuck, and it's going to be Zoe finally finding the 1-for-2 trade. Yeah,
100%. Although I still feel like this Zoe is... Ooh, I mean, Zoe... I swear Zoe was 18 is just the name I'm trying to get confused by. Looks like Lilia as well.
Lilia,
yeah, it's just... I definitely feel like she's just kind of not on the ball this game. I feel like she's still down XP, and that was the 2v2 that ended up being a 1-for-2, which is not really what you would like to see. And eventually translating into a Herald here.
I'm interested to see what the build comes through from Lilia. Is it still the Grimstone like build? I assume not with the current first item from Lilia, but that was very
unfortunately
popular.
Going to be damage here, but both are really optional. You could go for the supporty healing, kind of not as much damage. It's been seen all over the place in pro play, but doesn't look like that is what Zoe has opted to go for, or Lilia.
Okay, so I mean, Miggy is like he's ready. He's looking for these spicy hooks from the shadows. He's keeping Wombat on his toes, saying that you better have those feet fancy and those shoes shined if you want to stay away from this hook. As a bot lane, we've seen this before. Vanzor, this tag is going to be there, but he doesn't have the sleep yet. So Van's just getting the reset steady as Papa Smurf not able to get there. Vanzor even just waiting for Papa Smurf to get close enough. So, I mean, at this rate, we may just see Vanzor getting the double MVP.
Yeah, 100%. That was just so unfortunate. Like, just do your red buff, and then you have Linting Lullaby off of cooldown, and you can make that fight happen. But you're not going to get that fight happening.
Reposition. Papa Smurf.
Oh, no, another one.
Do not want.
Ooh, I'm so nervous. I feel like we're seeing a repeat of last game where Vanzor is 1v1ing 2 people in a row in the bot lane. What is going on?
Yeah, so just taking a look at the gold shots, we can see that difference in AD carry. The plates coming through as well as the kills. Almost 9,000 gold for Tristana versus the likes of, what, 6.5 on Nick Wolf?
Yeah, and Ezreal also just is not very gold optimal in the mid game. He just, yeah, I feel like Ezreal is not the greatest ADC at the moment. Haven't actually seen it anyway. Like, I forgot that was a champ.
Actually, a different build that Ezreal's are going on that makes them a little bit more viable, I believe. It's this Essence build that we're seeing. It's the Essence build that we're seeing at the moment. You don't actually rush a Mythic. So
is that going to opt for the Essence Reaver?
I think it's Essence. I can't remember what the second part of the build is, but like there's a newer Ezreal build that does not involve Mythic Rush that's become a little bit more popular, which is kind of bringing him back slightly. I don't think he's in an awful spot. Otherwise, the likes of that Lethality Silver could be quite interesting. A couple of new builds popping up for AD carry here and there, which is exactly what Riot intended with those new items and new build paths.
Yeah, that Silver build is so powerful. And we just see some vision contests going out here as surely DSG do not want to give over this dragon. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to contest though. Potential sneaky steal.
No, they're not even in a position to even look for the contest. They're just there for a bit of poke in case, but unfortunately we'll be conceding B5 picking up their second dragon, the Infernal. Oh no.
Oh no.
Wombat, the damage? No, not going to be enough as the top lane teleport does come through. Jetlass forced to not answer Papa Smurfy, so they have that top lane TP advantage.
Ooh, Vanzor, my heart, man. You are absolutely smashing. He is just outperforming every single player on the enemy team in the 1v1s consistently as the Herald gets a bop on the inhibitor tower. Ooh.
This is kind of what you expected from B5, especially in the first game. This is the slow and steady, but definitely starting to snowball kind of playstyle, or generally how we see B5 or the old Royalty squad playing against some of the slightly lower top teams in SA.
Yeah, 100%. And I could tell that. Ooh.
Yes, that is not exactly pretty to watch.
Yeah, this is honestly Vanzo just smurfing at this point, and
oh
ooh.
no, Papa Smurfy,
No.
there's no chance. Nott's finally getting his opportunity. The disengaged flash burn as well as Vanzo looks for the reposition. The lantern placed for security, but not even necessary. Papa Smurf. Shields
Yeah,
from
DSG.
above. Jetless
No
just
ulti
so
either.
tanky. No Bramble, nothing to reduce the heal. I think that's going to be Papa Smurfy's demise. In this case, Nick Wolf on the other hand, Vanzo. Chain not finding the connection, nor the mantra key.
Yeah, this is heartbreak for DSG. Considering how much closer game number 1 was, this is yeah, this feels really bad. I've been in games like this where you just feel like you're getting outclassed.
You're
across
delaying the
board,
inevitable
and
at this point, yeah.
yeah, but I mean that's what happens when you play against B5. I've actually had a very similar game against the old Royalty where it just felt like we were getting hard smashed.
So you're gonna
I mean,
keep
at this point,
Go for it.
At this point, how do you think we get back
How to
into the
B5
game if we
recover?
are DSG?
Sorry, how did DSG recover? That's a tricky one, honestly, because you gotta keep in mind that, okay, Ezreal does scale pretty well, sure, but Karma kind of falls off to an extent. She becomes more of like a shield, engage, disengage bot. And you compare that to the side of B5, who are basically entirely scaling besides the Tristana, just potentially falling off, but with the lead that she has, and assuming she doesn't just chain in like 3 deaths in a row, she's in too good of a spot. So, I mean, it's gonna be hard. You kind of need B5 to misplay for DSG to bring this back.
Yeah, I just feel like this this Lilia was first picked to be a statement, and 2 levels down, it wasn't the statement we were hoping to see.
True. So, in
Yeah,
this
I
case,
just feel like she's getting completely just taken out of this game. I feel like they're stealing her farm. She's just, yeah, she's 3 levels down at this point. Oof.
B5 have a really decent Baron comp, I think. They've got that Shyvana damage to plus the Tristana. In this case, blue side DSG not even able to walk up, but they do send in the ult for Vision. And Baron 100% secure for for B5. What do they do with it though? Do they go for the mid lane stack, potentially put one player top lane like Lance, who has TP, but in this case already mid?
100%. I think you just play the split push. You can even 1-3-1 here because you have so much like winning lanes and everyone is so strong that look at how much like everything is being taken from this poor Lilia. She is getting nothing, and that will surely be the death of the Volibear. No, he decides I'll fight another day.
Unfortunately, this tier 2 turret is just going to be conceded. They've got Ari bot lane to deal with that wave. She's got no ways to get towards top side, so there's honestly not even a point in defending this turret. Just play it safe and play for that turtle. Cut off the limb and just try clear it in the base, and potentially B5 might overextend and leave an opportunity for you to punish them. At the same time, they have that lantern bot just waiting in the shadows. Miggy not only good at hooking camps, but lanterning out allies who are in trouble.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, this is looking so insane. You really want to see a good 5v5 from DSG where they get a 5-man sleep
Trigger
and they
pull.
can just run down the Sultana.
Good taunt, Papa Smurf looking to bring us some damage, but he might just drop the reset. It will be there. Vanzo able to find himself the rampage as Lance looks to join with the package over the wall. A little bit low drop to half as he does get slept. Only one player going to sleep, but the shield says no. Vanzo, on the other hand, super low for the trade as multiple members from both sides dead. Bot lane B5 for an ace, the 2 for 5.
Honestly, that's probably going to be the game. And yeah, the Lilia, it's not the ult we were hoping to see. If we could see like a 3-4 man ulti there, maybe they can get a little bit more. And yeah, looks like game number 2 going to be going to the side of B5 in a much more convincing fashion.
GG, well played. 2 for 0.
Back to the casters, and we should be having an interview as well, potentially.
Okay, I mean 2 for 0, B5 looking good, showing us what the new roster is, I guess, up to. Some interesting decisions with, I guess, roles. I was kind of expecting perhaps some plays in different lanes, but we're not yet seeing that, so I'm sure B5 have a lot up their sleeves a little bit later in the tournament that we're going to be watching out for. Definitely a top 3 contester. As for where, we'll have to see, but nonetheless. Any thoughts on the overall series? Like, where do you think DSG potentially could focus on? Anything in particular you saw that DSG needs to work on going through to the next stages or next rounds?
I think they just need a little bit more comfort and confidence is the two big things that come to mind for me. I just think like you lock in the Lilia and then you don't have the confidence that you need to be really popping off. If you're playing a champ like Lilia, you need to be getting those 2, 3-man, 5-man sleeps, and yeah, the bot lane playing this very safe lane in the form of Ezreal Karma and just not safe enough. And Vanzo is just having the confidence to constantly be taking 1v1s and coming out on top.
Okay, I mean, good luck to both these sides for the future games. I believe we should be getting a post-game interview, if I'm not mistaken, from one of the players from, I believe, the B5 roster.
Indeed, we should. Hopefully, we shall find out more about who is joining us and when.
What are we thinking for MVP though? I mean, Vanzo currently my top player for sure.
100%. He was just outclassing every single person on the opposing team multiple times. It was looking intense. Really.
But we'll be back shortly for that post-game, guys. So go to the loo if you need to, otherwise get some water. We'll be back in just a second.
Oh.
And we're back for, I guess, the wrap-up. We've got Mr. Not Jungle, new addition to the B5 roster, in for the conversation. How do you feel about the series? How do you feel like the B5 guys performed compared to expectations? Not?
I think we were all chilling. We were just like taking it slow in the first game, and then just like feeling things out.
Very cool, very cool. Talk to us about the player rosters and how everyone's getting along. Like, it's a couple of new additions. A lot of it's still the same roster for sure. But do you guys gel well? Are you guys coming along, or is there still more improvement that needs to be done?
I mean, we're still working on synergy and all that, and I'm back on jungle now, so I'm getting used to that again from playing 3 years of mid. So yeah, I mean, things are super chilled. God's on vacation in the Bahamas. Yeah, he'll be back, next week.
Okay, so then do you move to another role, or do you become sub, or what's the plan?
I think myself and Lance will just rotate. Because I mean, I'm like old now, dude. I should have been in the old age last year.
True. Gotta get the bones the rest that you need. Can't play every game. It's not fair.
100%.
So, I mean, how were the players in terms of nerves, I guess? We saw that Lance was having a couple of issues with an Orianna ult or two in the first game.
Dude,
I think there was two.
You should have had him in here for that interview. I was saying, Lance and the Oriolts, that actually would have been quite insane.
Sounds like
Quite
an
interview.
band.
Yeah, no, I think maybe just the like first game nerves.
First game jitters.
That's
for
what we
sure.
thought.
Yeah. I mean, I have those like I like also get those nerves, but it's like a positive thing. It like makes me play better.
Yeah, it gets you amped, get the adrenaline rushing, I get you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like
I
one of
like
those
you.
see you at LAN situations where some players just pop off, other players have like jitters, as well as it comes with
Yeah,
experience.
100%. Some players don't buy items. Some players
True. Some players don't hit
Yeah.
hooks.
Yeah. Some players don't level their ult level 6.
I've done
All
that,
that
actually.
jazz.
I've
Yeah,
done that.
yeah, yeah.
Oof.
Stuff that you can't really be doing.
True. As for second game, we saw the Shyvana top lane priority. What was the thought process behind sending Shyvana towards top lane? Perhaps instead of playing for like bot lane, which was snowballing.
I wasn't. It wasn't necessarily that. It was more that I happened to be topside with ult,
Okay.
and he'd be fighting. Yeah, I mean, after
Relief
the
pressure.
second try, it was like, nah, this isn't happening.
Yeah, because it was kind
And I
of
mean, bot
interesting.
bot was permanently shoved. So I mean, I could have just like sat there and waited for the Lilia. That would have worked out surely. But like, it just so happened every time I had ult, and I saw like a little opportunity top. But yeah, that volley is pretty tanky, man.
Yeah, he's not
So, yeah.
exactly killable. So we saw a couple of
Yeah.
failed attempts, but nonetheless it worked out.
Mhm.
Bot lane. Talk to me about the Tristana pick. Is this something that Vanzel just likes to play? Was it like, let me pick Tristana, or was this like a decision made by the team? Because you guys ran at both games?
I think he's just really comfortable on it, and it's like got high kill pressure. So, I mean, if we get him rolling, as you saw, he just keeps rolling. He's like a Ramus, you know.
True. Just keep on rolling.
Ah,
Speaking of which,
nice.
waiting for that new Rammus rework coming through. That's going to be quite exciting. But nonetheless, I believe MVP going to Vanzel for all these solo kills that we saw him come through with. Like, man was showing us that the Tristana needs to be banned. For sure. Tankers,
I
anything from
mean,
your side?
that's yeah. He has a few pocket picks that we've been working on. Yeah. Alistair Leeson bot. This guy's
True,
must watch out for
true,
that one.
true. Who's playing the Leeson though? Is that a Mr. Not Leeson or is that a
That's
Miggy
probably
Leeson?
Miggy, dude.
Because we've got
That's gonna be a Miggy Leeson montage
couple of options.
2017.
100%. Otherwise, GG, well played. Any shoutouts or anything? Anybody in particular who came to watch you today?
Shout out to us sponsors, Rocket Science and new GeForce shot. You know that I can't hit the gym without my daily dose of GeForce. You know, amazing, awesome.
Okay. Otherwise, thanks for coming through.
115 PR on the bench.
It's not bad. Well, thanks for coming through for the post game,
Actually, no,
and
just
good
three.
luck with the
Okay,
rest
sick.
of your matches coming up.
Okay, thanks, man. Shot. Thanks for the interview.
100%.
Okay,
Best of
awesome.
luck.
Cheers.
Just right. That was not the jungler from B5 or temporary. Not too sure what the situation is on that one. Tankers, anything in particular that stood out to you in this series? Anything that you potentially would like to see more of in the future from either of these rosters?
I think Jetless plays really well in the top lane. Banzo was popping off. Yeah, again, really just want to see some more confidence from the side of DSG. They can make it happen. They have the comps. They have the champions. It's just a slight, I feel like maybe first game nerves, a little bit nervous there. Maybe just not playing a little on the edge as much as they might have. And, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like if you are playing on the edge and you fall flat, at least, you know, you can say like you tried super, super hard instead of just slowly bleeding to death as they did in game number 2.
I mean, there's nothing worse than a team realizing they're versing one of the top teams and just giving up. Like, it's all about that fighting spirit. Give it your best shot. I mean, you never know. We've had some serious upsets in the past, so I wouldn't put DSG out of it yet. They've got a lot of potential. They showed us that. Unfortunately, it weren't given the opportunity for the first game, like Aphelios carry, but nonetheless, we should see their name popping up towards the later stages in this event as well. Otherwise, I believe that wraps up the first stream for the Mercedes-Benz 80K League of Legends Champion Series. Tankers, been an absolute pleasure for today's cast, and I'm looking forward to the rest of them.
Yeah, it was super, super great. What a great cast to do, and lots of fun things to point out, and just yeah, great to see like the beautiful comp that we saw from B5 Game 1. That was probably one of the best drafts that I feel like I've seen in the South African scene, and yeah, super excited to see more exciting stuff.
100%. Otherwise, guys, we'll hopefully see you. I believe the next cast being on, is it Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday is the next
Thursday
cast, and I
at
believe
8.
that will be XYZ versus, let me confirm, XYZ Soar versus Order of Shadows Soar. So that is,
I don't think that's quite right.
that's definitely going to be odd. They have the same team name.
Yeah, no,
At the end there?
I think that's a mistype, but nonetheless, it should be a good series. Looking forward to it, but yep, that's about us tonight. Thanks again to everyone that did come through to support, and we'll see you at the next broadcast.
Cheers.